Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So within resume forensics, there's a lot of information you can find here. But the functionality is similar to RTI. So there is this query window here on the right-hand side where you have some different filters. But I'll go into some of those specific filters and use cases here. So first we have to choose a region to look at. So is Monmouth County, New Jersey okay?
Yes, it might be too selective. So I think when Jason went over it with me, he was using New Jersey.
Yeah, we can use New Jersey too. Okay, so this will look at the resumes or online profiles from LinkedIn for people in New Jersey. And there are different filters you can use. So if you wanted to look at the people who live in New Jersey and their resumes or online profiles for people who live in New Jersey, you can choose that filter by where people live. You can also choose work. So you can see the online profiles of people who work in New Jersey and things like what employers they have or what skills and certifications they have or what schools they went to. But
What
if,
is the, oh, I'm sorry, can I stop you?
yeah,
Now, what is this map representing? Like, why are there bubbles outside of New Jersey?
so this shows the query we have is people who work in New Jersey, but there's people who live somewhere else. So they could be working from home or maybe they moved and their last known or their last most recent work experience is in New Jersey, but then they moved outside of New Jersey and updated their location uh, in LinkedIn, but they didn't update their work experience. In that case, they may show the work experience, the most recent work experience as in New Jersey, but then they now live outside of New Jersey.
Okay.
So this shows where they live. But if you wanted to look at your graduates, you can choose the went to school filter. So this will show resumes or online profiles for people who went to school within New Jersey. So it could be your school or other schools within New Jersey. But we can further filter that down to just your school by using the school filter here. So we can enter Brookdale Community College. And there are different ways that people write it in their LinkedIn profiles.
I
Some,
noticed that.
yeah, but we try to combine everything in one school name that should match the NCES data that you can find in the Words Analytic or in Data Explorer. Um,
Okay.
so if we choose this Brookdale Community College, this one here, that should be the main one. So then that will show all those online profiles for people who went to Brookdale Community College at some point and listed it on their LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm.
You can also add some more filters here. So if you are looking at a specific program and graduates for a certain program, you can choose the program filter here. You can also add the graduation year here too. So maybe if you wanted to look at just the most recent graduates and not somebody that graduated in 1970, for example, we can choose graduation years here. So maybe 1920 or 2022 to 2025. So the more recent graduates of your school. If you wanted to select a specific one specific year, you can also do that. So for example, if you want to just look at 2022, you can enter the start and end date as the same year, and that will give the graduates for that year. So did you want to just look at those most recent graduates, or did you want more uh, online profiles rather than just the most recent graduates?
No, I think most recent would be great.
Okay. Um, So then we can also scroll down here and like similar to RTI, we have these different tables here. The first one is residence location, which also is linked to this map up here. So we have the reported locations, the locations that they list on their LinkedIn profiles. We can also look at it by county, so see how many live within Monmouth County still, or how many live in more re close regions or further regions away. We can also look at ones outside, within the state versus outside the state and what other states they have gone to. And if you are curious as to the people that have moved outside of your state, so that some brain drain, for example, you can click on this blue number since you have the online profiles now. You can see the specific people that moved outside of New Jersey after graduating from your school. And then for any of these, you can click on the blue name and it will take you to the LinkedIn profile too. So if
Now
you want,
that I had a question about that. Um, when I did that, I noticed that it was my LinkedIn profile that was like, I guess if you go back, it looks like it's your LinkedIn profile that you're looking at um the people from resume forensics. So I'm wondering, like, if my AVP goes to click on a person's name and she doesn't have a LinkedIn profile, will she still be able to see this data?
so if I sign out here, this is what you'll see. So it wants you to log in, but you can see part of it depending on what the settings for the person, the, the profile that you're looking at, that may be blocked a little bit more or may not be.
Okay.
But it depends on the settings that the person that you're looking at, the profile that you're looking at, and what they have.
Okay.
But you should still be able to see at least part of it.
Great. Okay.
And
And
then,
I like how you can export it, because then I was thinking, well, I would want to sort it by, what position they're in, or, and then I realized, oh, that's right, you can export it and then you'll have this.
yeah, so definitely you can export it. And then you also have those LinkedIn profile URLs here too. But yeah, that's a good way to um, sort it here.
Mm-hmm. Because sometimes that's what we want to look at is like, well, what degree did they pursue or graduate from? And then what occupation are they in? And kind of see if it matches.
Yeah. So that, and you can also add some filters within resume forensics to also see that, and I can show you that too. But that is a
Okay.
good way. Um, just exporting those profiles is a good way to see that information too.
Mm-hmm.
So besides the residence location, so where they live, you can also find their schools. And since we filtered by the school, it only shows the one school. Then we also have programs here. So these are the programs that graduates from your school pursued when they went to your school. So if we're looking at a specific program, um, such as nursing, uh, and we just wanted to look at graduates for a nursing program for your school, you can add that filter. So now everything's filtered for just a specific program and the school. So graduates of nursing from your school in 2022 to 2025. You can also see their award levels. So if they got an associate's degree or if they didn't list a award level, they would be listed in the unspecified other category. the graduation year here too. So you can see how many people graduated in 2023 or 2024. Then also where they are working. So here, this is what you mentioned about the employers that they're working at, and this is their most recent work experience. So we only show the most recent work experience within resume forensics, but if you wanted to see their past work experiences, you can also click on that blue number and see their specific uh, profiles by going through their LinkedIn page. But so if we're looking at graduates of the nursing program within your school, Hackensack Meridian Health, Barnabas Health, and so on are some different employers that are hiring your graduates. We also have the job titles that they work at in. So how many are, in this case, registered nurses or medical assistants? So if they work in something related to nursing, or maybe if they don't, you can also see it by occupation. That's another way to see if graduates are working in an occupation related to the program that they pursue, or maybe a different occupation. So for example, there's one here that is a paralegal, so it's very different than the nursing program. But a lot of them go on to work in the medical field or nursing.
Mm-hmm.
We also have certifications and hard skills and soft skills that are listed in their online profiles. So this could be earned from your school or from other places. So this is one way where if you are wanting to update your curriculum, you could see if these certifications or skills are included within your curriculum or not. And if they aren't, that could be something that you could think about adding to your curriculum.
And where is that information derived? Is that also coming from their LinkedIn profile?
Yes, so sometimes there is a section for skills or certifications, or sometimes it's coming from their description, either their intro description or uh, their description of their work experiences. So, for example, we look at this work experience information and see if we can pull out any skills here.
Okay,
And then there's sometimes this license and certification section that also has some certifications or skills included. So we look at the whole profile and try to pull out as many skills or certifications as we can.
perfect.
And then we also have this linked schools, linked programs, and linked award levels tables if you filter for a school. So some graduates who go to Brookdale Community College may go to schools to pursue a bachelor's degree, in
Mm.
another school to pursue a bachelor's degree. So if that's the case, we want to show that information in these linked schools table. So besides your school, they could also go to, for example, Rutgers University, Ocean County College, Monmouth University, and so on. So these are some different schools that they could go to or they have gone to.
FIT, that's a real career change.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like a founder. So, yeah. And then for those extra schools that they went to, you can see the programs that they went to for those schools and for those education experiences, along with the award levels they got. So after they went to your school, they could also go to a different school for the bachelor's degree.
Hmm.
We also have this wage type or wage filter here, wage fields here too. These wage fields show the entry level and experience level wages. These come from the uh, occupation, employment, and wage statistics data. So it should match the wages that are in other analytics like occupational wages,
Okay.
but it's related to when it's looking at these profiles, it's looking at the occupation mix of these profiles. So for people who graduated from Brookdale Community College that meet all these filters, for each profile, we assign entry level and experience level wage to them based on their occupation. And then that occupation mix gives the entry level and experience level wages. So although this is not their direct wage, this could be some wages that they could get if they graduated from your college.
Okay.
Uh, then we also have some other filters here. So if you wanted to look at a specific certification or hard skill, employer, even using keywords here too, you can uh, enter those filters. And these resumes are now updated monthly. So we are updating these monthly and trying to get the most recent profiles too. So if you're looking at graduates, this went to school filter can be really helpful, but you can also look at where people live or work too. And this can be also helpful if you're wanting to hire somebody. Uh, so resume forensics can also be really helpful if you or somebody else within your organization is wanting to hire another person. And it's a way to see what other people either work or live within your region or went to school within your region to try to recruit people too. Um, but do you have any questions with this went to school filter or anything I've gone over so far?
No, no, seems pretty intuitive.
Um, so just to kind of mention the live or went to school filter, if you're wanting to look at hiring some people, um, this can also be helpful for that. So you can add the New Jersey filter to look at people who live within New Jersey or work within New Jersey. So for example, if you wanted to look at the people who live within New Jersey and you're wanting to hire a specific occupation, so for example, some a post-secondary teacher that lives within New Jersey. You can add that occupation filter and also add certifications or program filters to filter it a little bit more. But then you can see what schools they went to or what programs they went to, employers, and you can also see those specific people, and that's a way to see what people could be good to hire for this position and reach out to.
Okay.
But definitely for education, using that went to school filter can be really helpful, and then adding your school name in here.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can export this. You can export it to PDF, Excel, Word, or map, or you can export that map. Then we also have the question mark icon, which you probably used before,
Mm-hmm.
um, but this was recently updated too. So we have some technical notes here and uh, some other information about resume forensics, including definitions for each of those tables here too. Do you have any questions with resume forensics?
No.
Um, so resume forensics can be really helpful for looking at the supply of workers, and this information also is used within skill gaps too. Uh, so,
Okay.
so it also relates to skill gaps, but this is one way where you can find a lot of information, especially with those online profiles. You can find information about specific people, graduates, and what they're doing now too. But that's pretty much all I had here. So any questions or anything else you wanted to go over, either with resume forensics or just within jobs and Q?
Um, just to touch on if you have any advice about how to address telling the other license users to be mindful of this data.
Yeah, so these LinkedIn profiles or this the data from resume forensics comes from LinkedIn profiles. So they are public LinkedIn profiles, so that's why we can share it with you.
Hmm.
But uh, probably wouldn't be good to sell it to other people, obviously, or but you can use it for internal purposes. So
Okay,
you can use it for hiring or for looking at graduates and reaching out to graduates using those LinkedIn profiles. But it's a one way where you can find workers and it's easier than trying to search for it within LinkedIn itself. It's a way to sort things easier than within LinkedIn, but it's everything here you can find within LinkedIn.
good. Okay. And that's the other thing that I was thinking our alumni association, I think might want to bolster their recruiting efforts around maybe some lists like this. So that could work. But
Uh,
it's good that you said don't sell the information. So I mean that's the obvious, but
mhm.
that's a good point to bring up. And I don't think anybody would do that. But um that's a good point to bring up when talking to them about the security of the information.
And I think that CRM, Jason, can provide more information about information security and what some things that you can and can't do within Jobs EQ itself or within resume forensics based on your contract. Your contract can also, I think, provide some more information about that, but
Okay.
and Jason can also help you with that, but I'm not sure what's within that contract.
Right.
But that can also be a resource for you. But
Okay.
within resume forensics, this is all information from LinkedIn profiles. So all of this is coming from LinkedIn.
Public public sources.
Yes.
I just thought it was a little evasive.
Yeah.
Because
But
I was like, oh, seeing this person's picture and where they live and everything, or at least what they're reporting on LinkedIn.
yeah, so definitely it's something that because they are public profiles on LinkedIn, we can share this information with you and you can share this with other people within your organization too.
Perfect. Do you have any instances of how other schools are using resume forensics other than what my little brain is thinking about?
So for resume forensics, what you're mentioning about looking at graduates and where they're going to school or where else they went to school, or if they still live within the region, or what employers they are working at. Those are all the main uses for schools for resume forensics.
Okay.
But it can also be helpful for schools or other organizations to look if at people who are candidates they could also hire. And I know that is something that people have used for resume resume forensics for. But definitely for schools, looking at those graduates, looking at those employers, and then looking at the skills and the certifications that they have to see if there could be more, if you could add more to your curriculum or more programs. That's another way to use resume forensics too.
Okay, good.
So there's a lot of different uses for it. But any other questions right now?
No, I don't think so. That was a great overview.
Okay. So if you do have questions with it as you were working in resume forensics, you can also use that live chat, or you can also email me if you want to, and we can set up another training session or just email, or you can also email your CRM, Jason Roundtree. But using this live chat feature could be really helpful. Um, and then it
They're
also,
they're fabulous. They are able to answer like every question that I have.
that's really good to hear. We definitely try to help you get your answers quick too. Um, but then I'll also send this recording to you after it gets put on tomorrow's YouTube channel. But feel free to reach out if you do have any questions in the meantime or afterwards too.
Excellent. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Um, so you don't have any other questions?
No,
I hope you have a great rest of your day and then also a good long weekend too.
you too.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Mm, bye.
Bye-bye.